so much complexity in who God is, and we'll never be able to understand all of it. Mm-hmm. But there is a simplicity to it as well.
Right.
It's both.
100%.
You know, and in our mind, it's like, in our physical world, and in our relationships and work and things like that, you're either complex or you're either simple. But with God, He does both.
Yep.
So you can go with the complex stuff and try to figure this stuff out and think about the theology and things like that. All that stuff, that's probably great. Mm-hmm. But there is a simplicity that you have to return to. Yeah. That's in the first 2 chapters of Genesis.
We forget that you can't really explore the complexities until you really grasp the simple, the fundamental.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
That's what I think this is coming back to. Hey, welcome to Mentorforge Podcast. This is your first time listening. Please go to mentorforge.com and check out more. This is week 2, episode 2 of season 7.
I'm still recovering from episode 1.
Oh, yeah. Any revelations, Bo, from episode 1?
I mean, it was all so new.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was also new, but it also, like, had the same themes and stuff that you read all throughout the New Testament. Anyway, so honestly, it's like, I'm excited to see the next one because I know it's going to build on itself really well and probably help me understand the first one even better, you know? Yeah. But yeah, man, that was still trying to chew on that.
Well, I'll touch on it because when we get in, it was interesting. It's day 7 is in chapter 2, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. I mean, today we're going to hit on man, God creating man and our original design, but there is something too. So rest is the end of the week. God rested and He called it very good. Which there's the Hebrew word, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, but the Hebrew word for very good is like enough, a completion, done. Which is really fascinating to think when you really think about that. In our American entrepreneurial brain sometimes is like always tweaking, always improving, just constantly building, and it's like, oh man, once I make X, I'll be set. It's like, nope, not enough. Got to get in the next. Yep. You know, and God as a creator, as a creative being, the creative being, right? It's like, nope, that's enough. That's good. That's very good. That's a completion. And like just putting, like, and therefore I rest. And that's what, you know, kind of that single rest of like, you know, almost like Jesus on the cross. It is finished. You know, like that work has been completed. It's like, man, as men, as people that want to build and grow stuff, we got to kind of have that in our brain of like, that's good. I'm putting it down. That's what rest says. I've done what I've been asked of. I've been faithful with that. There's a completion. So anyway, that's a great place, I think, to transition into chapter 2 and talk about us as men. Because the first thing you really get to after that. Well, any thoughts on that, Bo?
No, I mean it's like I think that, so it kind of changes your thinking from, at least for me, just hearing you say that, from okay, constantly grinding, evolving, learning, trying to figure out the best way to do things in a business that you start or a job that you're in, to almost being at peace that, and maybe this is, you can help me with this, but like it's almost like reaching a point where you are at peace with whatever you've done.
Yeah.
But I guess, and then at the same time it is, well, I'm trying to work to a place where I would feel peace, which I guess is the lie. Right? Yeah. So yeah, help me flesh that out.
Well, I think there's some people, it is, I think, all right, if we're talking to you young professional men out there, there is like the tension we always live in sometimes in a job is, yeah, I will work and fight to make this work. And it could be that God is giving you permission to move on, you know? Yeah. But then also it's like there's a level of like, all right, I'm gonna force this, I'm gonna make this happen. Or there's the guy who's like, all right, I'm gonna go do my own thing. And you just go, I'm gonna go work to make this happen when God hasn't really given, when there's still maybe work to be done where you're at. So there's like that tension we always have to live in. And sometimes it is, and this is where probably getting to what we're getting to is staying up to date or staying in your relationship with God and everything you do out of your relationship with Him. because like there's just you just don't. I think sometimes a lot of ways that's where peace comes from is when I trust him. I trust the story that I'm in with him. That all right, where he has me, it's done, or what I'm doing. Or I think and you may even think of it in the context of day to day of like where there's always something to do. There's always I feel that every day. I'm like, man, I could work till 10 o'clock trying to make sure this stuff is completed, and you have to just go, no, the day is done.
Yeah,
I have completed. Thank you, Lord, for I'm going to go home and I have a 2.5-year-old son, so it's not really, I wouldn't call it rest, but it's a form of rest.
Yeah,
it's a form of rest to say, hey, that is my priority. God, you can do more while I'm away than when I'm here.
Well, it's just like using a different part of your brain, I guess. Like you turn off the work part, and then you can go sit with your 2-year-old and play with a Hot Wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's totally different. It's 100%. Not really rest, but it's totally different.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So the other night, this is funny. I didn't tell you this yet, but so I'm working. So we put my son down at 7, something like that, and then I worked from like 8 to it was about 11 o'clock. And my wife came into our little room that we call an office, and she was like, all right, you're done, and just shut my laptop. I was like, okay. Yeah. But I had every urge to be like, no, I'm close to something.
Yeah.
I'm close, like I'm so close to this thing, and then when I can do that, I'll be able to rest. But it was teaching me like, no, it'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Time to shut it down.
Right.
And the value in that, and I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Right.
Because there's always something you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's always something you can do.
Yeah.
But it is kind of something you learn to be able to stop, even when you're not finished necessarily.
Yes, 100%.
So
yeah, that's good. So that's where so that's why staying current, staying in your relationship with God. I think this is from the very core beginning, because before God gave Adam any task or mission, right? There was this moment in Genesis 7, right, that we see. And I was going to try to read it here.
2:7?
2:7, baby. God knelt down on the ground and breathed into the man's face that a man has done before the man did anything. That is the founding act of our existence. So really, when you think of the imagery of that bow, what do you think of when you think of God breathing into man? When he formed him out of the ground, he spoke everything else into existence. Yeah. He spoke it, but he used his hands.
There's an intimacy there that's unique, right? 100%. Than what he did with everything else.
Right. Yeah. To breathe. I think of the image of me breathing into my wife while she's laying down. Right, oh, that's kind of weird, but that's you got to be close to him. You gotta be like right on the top.
I would not let you do that to me.
Well, good. Good. I wasn't planning on it. Well, next time. We'll work on it next time. No, but there's something to, that closeness. One, like being formed out of the dust of the ground. One, there's some level of intimacy that we're God's handiwork. Mm-hmm. Paul talks about in Ephesians 2:10, we are his workmanship. There's something, I'm trying to remember the Greek term, but it's a level almost like poetry. Mm-hmm. Like there's something creative and unique about us, which is 100% true because, after thousands and thousands of years, like we're still discovering new things about the human body. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, that's how...
No, that is insane.
Yeah. Of all the science and all the things that we...
So then think about all the stuff that we haven't discovered yet, too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's where we are his workmanship, created in his image. He uses... And then he did the, face-to-face. He didn't, over our head, put his finger, and it was something about his breath. And there's something to that. I've talked about in a recent blog post. It's like, man, every breath is acknowledgement of his existence. Because I breathe because he is. I have breath because he is. Yeah. Because he exists, because he sustains every breath I have. Like that acknowledgement. Yeah. They even say that's how when you say in Hebrew the word Yahweh, because you don't even say the name of God. It's like a, it's a breath. right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That's fascinating.
So, dude, it's like that. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
There's something really that God from the very beginning wanted us to remember, something unique about ourselves and also how intimate we are with Him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the next thing is He makes God, and then He builds the garden.
Yeah.
And like that's a whole like thing that I don't want to get into, but from some of y'all's reading, you'll see like, all right, so what was the difference of Him? It says there's no shrub on the ground or something. It's like, well, what did He do in Genesis 1 that He didn't do that He did in Genesis 2? It's like that'll mess you up. So, but there is something too. I think some commentaries kind of explain it as like, oh, there was green, there was plants, but there wasn't like unique garden like you walk into a garden, Anyway, so that's what He made for Adam.
Okay. And
He put him in there, not just to hang out, but to work it. It's like He gave him a mission.
That's interesting.
And and thinking about that, like also like, all right, He gave him an identity. You're made in my image. You're made to be in relationship with me. Now go do. It's like, I think for you guys listening, like you got to think about it in that context.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are meant to go do. You're meant to be put somewhere on a mission. Like there's not, to me. And the reason why I bring that up is I think some of y'all may be like, what do you mean? Of course, that's duh. Like, well, some of us find our identity out of our mission. We start with purpose and mission. Like, oh, what I'm doing is what defines who I am. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, it's the opposite. That's why I bring that up. But He does put you in a place to work. And the two words that are used there, which is interesting, I've been reading a little bit. I hadn't really gotten too deep into it. It was really interesting is, I think, Richard Phillips' book called The Masculine Mandate. And he basically based the entire book off these two words, these two Hebrew, avad and shamar, I think, is to cultivate and to guard, or like build, create. And then one is like protect. So we got to think about that. And I think God does wire men, maybe one more than the other. At the same time, we're both called to do both. That there is a level of like, there's like like in business terms, I would say one is the entrepreneur that, versus the manager. Like learning how to be, at some points, both have to do some of the other. But God, I think, did wire Adam from the very beginning to do both because He called him to it. And so learning how to do that. Yeah, but in your head, what do you feel like is the biggest difference between those two?
Well, I guess I originally thought that what it meant was to me, it almost seemed like it was a separation between work and then protecting like your family. But what you're saying is it's work and then managing what's been created in a way.
What you've been,
right?
Exactly.
So it's so I guess then my question is, well, if God created the garden, was Adam just called to manage it, to work it, that second Hebrew word, or was he creating stuff himself? You know what I mean? Like, was he? I guess we don't know. Do we?
That's where, we don't know. But I 100% think that God, like, if there's those two words are in there, He didn't just say shamar, which is to guard or protect. He said He gave the first one. It's like, so God, I imagine, like, what does every tree produce? It produces fruit, and those fruits have seeds to make more. So I would think that God was like, hey, I'm going to place you here, and you're meant to grow it.
Okay.
Almost like it's the same way he kind of instructed the Israelites when they went to the Promised Land, and they stopped. Like He wanted them to expand and keep growing.
Interesting.
And so I think the same way, I think He wanted Adam that would be his home base, and continue to spread and grow it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like God didn't name the animals. He gave Adam the task to do that.
Yeah, interesting.
So it's like, which is interesting. What's the language then? Was it Hebrew?
Yeah. Yeah, what?
It's like, that's what I know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
God's probably speaking to Moses in Hebrew, and he's the one writing it down. So I don't know.
Or it could be that language came in after the fall.
That's a whole. If y'all want to explore that, go for it. But I'm like, that's. But anyway, so that's where I think, and you got to think of work. So that's where I think there is, as much as identity and mission are so tied. I think same way we got to think about the context of work in the ways of building and managing or creating and cultivate or protecting, right?
So building and then protecting what's been built.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the same way, like you think of having kids, right? Mm-hmm. There's the creating of them, and then there's the protecting of them. There's the growing of them. There's the putting them places to flourish, helping, feeding them, but also teaching them. But then there's also like the place of providing them home. They feel protected and they're safe, right? I think the same. This is like in everything we're doing. There's those two things.
Yeah, or in a marriage too. Like you're creating, developing this relationship with your wife, and then you get married, and then you have to protect that marriage.
Yeah. Like
by continuous work and improvement and management, like you're talking about, rather than just sitting in what's been created.
I mean, the perfect example of that is just boundaries, right? Like, hey, we've had something to do every night this week, have no time for each other. Protecting that marriage would be saying no to things. Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts on that, Bo?
No, it's fascinating. Does it ever get to... So I go back to the creating and then the second Hebrew word being the protecting. Is there any truth in that it also is talking about protecting your family in a way, or like protecting, or do you think it's just...
I mean...
That's not a great question. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
Well, I guess they're the same thing. You just explained it.
Yeah.
So like you're managing and protecting. It could be in the context of a business. Mm-hmm. It could be in the context of the garden Garden of Eden, or it could be in the context of a family. Right. So
yeah.
So that kind of answers the question right there, right?
That's
Okay.
I mean, that's what I said. I think it's in the context of everything we do. Everything we do out of our relationship with God.
Yeah.
There's both.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So when I say that, so I think family, marriage, work, anything. Cultivating community, being a deacon at church, like everything we're doing, there's some level of both, and so I think that's why God put into Moses, signifying the difference of both. Yeah, because they're both meaningful.
So the balance,
and I would say men lean one more than the other, but we at the end of the day both. I mean, you see this in business. I mean, I see that. I've heard this in startups. Like, there's almost like a cycle of having certain type of managers. There's just like when you grow to a certain amount, you get rid of a certain level of managers because the managers are about growing. And it's like, all right, now we need to bring in a manager who knows how to kind of maintain all this.
Yeah, you always hear about the getting from 1 million to 10 million takes one type of person, and then getting from 10 to 30 or whatever that takes a different type of person. Yeah, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay,
so that's been written in creation.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so also too, like if you, I guess it's all so the question and the thing that we struggle and wrestle with as guys in our 20s, 30s is learning the balance between, yes, that's good, but then also you have to find rest.
Yeah.
So how do you do those two things? And is it completely uniform for everybody, or could it be unique for you? Could it be unique for... And then how do you go through this journey of figuring out, okay, what is the right answer? Like, tell us the right answer. That's what I want.
God has downloaded me the right answer, and I'm going to share it with you right now.
I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to do it.
Oh, please don't be like that. Oh.
But really, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm sure there's personalities out there listening like, oh, please do that. That's exactly what I want, because, I mean, I think God wired them that way.
Tell me.
But I think we have to go back to what I've already shared. One is, when is enough? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, God, I've gotten enough information. I have enough. I may not have every answer to every question answered in my mind, but I've got enough. And it's good, right? But then there's second, the next part of Genesis 2 that I've already mentioned is it has to be out of relationship. This is for you in all. It's like when you feel that tension, like when should I rest? When should I stop? When should I? Like if you're in your 20s and you're not married or don't have a significant other, like grind your butt off. Yeah, go for it. Like if you feel that inclination to do that, But
so it's possible to go through different seasons of that too.
Yeah.
Like of different.
But you got to learn how to turn it off.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen if that's your normal and you think that's what everybody does, and then you get married and think that you're going to continue to do that? Sorry, that's not going to happen. Yeah. Nor should it. So there's just there's 100%.
One other thing too, like I think you've talked about this a lot with me, is that especially today with guys our age, there's so much like, I don't know the right word, value, like it's revered almost to work extremely hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that like you can get that good feeling and like, like I'm an extremely hard worker. It's almost like a core value for a lot of guys in their 20s and 30s is like, I have to be a really, really, really hard worker. So what does that look like? And then what you can easily do is forget that there is a balance there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're so hardwired to be like, man, my parents worked super hard, extremely hard.
Yeah.
My grandparents worked extremely hard. I have to do the same thing. But I think that maybe guys don't see that maybe there was rest with your parents, grandparents, or whatever. That you just didn't really notice.
Right.
I don't know what I'm... So, like, it's a, yes, work extremely hard, but this is when...
Right.
You need to rest, and the only way really to that answer is through relationship, right?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah, because I think most of us in the first world, 21st century, believe rest is the escape from the work or from the So some of us probably grew up in a home where dad got home and it's like, don't bother him, It's so funny. Like I remember days staying with my granddad. Like when he got home from work, it was, he got home late because he, worked 40 minutes away. So the 5 o'clock news was taped for him, and he sat in his chair.
Like in a VCR.
Yes, 100%. And he watched his news, and he ate his sleeve of saltines. Mm-hmm. And probably had a double bourbon with rock. Yeah, did you?
I was like, man, these are good.
Yeah, just
next thing you know, they're gone.
Oh, they're gone. A whole sleeve. Oh man, hey, I don't want to get them stale.
Got them from you.
Yeah. And then probably have a bourbon and water, right? And that was like, hey, that's what the man does. And granted, that was the greatest generation. That's what they did, right? But learning, rest is an escape. Rest is saying enough. Rest is putting something down. Rest is saying, okay, God, I trust you more with that than myself.
Okay.
And so that's what I think more of rest and getting that.
So there's a piece of letting go and trusting. Yeah. And rest.
Mm-hmm. It's trusting the story God has you in.
Yeah.
It's trusting that, like, hey, nothing. You're the one who says ultimately what is enough, what is good. Right, so I'm gonna just trust you that you know better than me. At the end of the day,
that's right.
Yeah, and that's the tension we're all living in. It's like, God, give me the answers, and He's just saying, okay, come closer.
Yeah, and it's interesting as you get a little bit older and with more experience, and maybe you're managing a group now of people or doing whatever. It's interesting how the stakes feel higher. Yeah, and it requires more faith to let it go and rest.
Yeah. 100%.
Because when you're 22 and you get your first job, there's really not too much at stake. Because the company's probably just seeing if it works out with you. Right. You know what I mean? And they're knowing that, hey, we're going to hire, it depends on the size of the company, but we're going to hire 10 guys like this, 10 guys, girls, whatever. 25% are going to work out. Right. So my point is, stakes are not super high, but when you get into your mid 30s, it feels higher and it becomes harder. Right. As you to be like, okay, I need to let this go. Right. It's hard to let go. Harder to let go.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's the tension. But I think at the end of the day, like God, anything in our life, and I think for some of y'all, this is maybe the challenge to pray into is like, all right, what am I meant to build, work, grow, and really allow to flourish? But also like, okay, where does also He's called me to kind of protect, guard, and value as almost like a treasure It doesn't need to be improved upon. It just needs to be protected. You know,
Yep.
That's the tension in learning that, and that's, you know, hopefully, you know, in your own groups or your own mentor and your relationships, you kind of talk through what that looks like.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm learning with you especially that there's tension in a lot of places.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
man, the human experience, man.
The human experience,
man.
Yeah. I mean,
really,
it's,
yeah.
In the Bible, like it'll show you different things every time you read it.
Yeah.
But I wish it would be a workbook that could tell
Yeah.
you today's June 24th, July 24th. Here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Here's what time you start resting. You know, stuff don't work like that. Does
No.
It?
Yeah, and that's where it's like in your relationship with God is like learning the EQ part of yourself, learning to manage. It's like, man, I am feeling a lot of stress, anxiety, frustration right now. And most people, the natural inclination is like, all right, well, let's just push in harder, grind harder.
Yeah.
And really a lot of times it's like, okay, that's when I need to put something down. Whether it's 5 minutes or 24 hours.
Yeah, because you can numb it by distracting yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And that's where you have to go back to, okay, I am made in the image of God. I am His son. I am His child before I'm anything else. Because what ends up happening with work is like, oh, crap, I got to keep going because this is who I am. This is what I do. What I do is who I am, you know. Yeah, so I'll give this. I give this in my studies, but I just popped in my head because it's a French philosopher said, 400 years ago, I think, therefore I am, which is the biggest load of crap in the world.
Who said that? Aristotle?
No, it was a French philosopher, Rene, starts with a C, car or something. Anyway. But it's become a thing in the modern world. Like
I've heard it.
Yeah. I think therefore I think that I am a doctor. Therefore, that's what I am. Or like that thought process, and it's like that can be so easily corrupted. And it's like you have to, as a believer. And this is what we're talking about in creation here. I was a thought in His head way before I was ever a thought in my own. I did not create. Like that's where this modern postmodernists like, oh, we create God in our head. It's like no. I was a thought in His head. He's the one who thought about me and then formed me. Formed me in my mother's womb, as Psalm 139 says, right? So when we think about that kind of stuff and really think about creation and the uniqueness of our Christian worldview, like we have to move past the thoughts in my head are limited, but His aren't. Because I'm here because He thought of me way before. Anyway, I'm getting deep.
And we think we're smart enough to really figure out who He is and what He's
the universe
doing.
And how everything works, and we have such a we are looking through this tiny keyhole and think we have all the answers, and it's nonsense. Yeah. Anyway,
a lot of smart people out there, but
yeah,
that's really interesting. I like that.
But it is that quote is used so much in modern philosophy and what we have today, and it's like, man, what I create is reality. It's like, no. Anyway, that's why going back to the breath thing. Yeah, exactly. My truth. That's terrible. Yeah. Anyway, no, there's the truth.
You're right.
There may be my experience or my facts.
That's right.
But anyway. All right, so we got to end with this, and this is important, talking about relationships in general. So God, at the end of the day, so all of that, God created intimacy with Adam. He gave him a design and mission to live out his life, to work and guard. But at the end of the day, he saw all this. Adam had all this ability to do all this, and then he said, this is the first time God said something wasn't good. And He said that man, therefore, he goes, and he saw that man was alone, and he saw it wasn't good. And man shouldn't be alone.
So this is the first time He's acknowledged something is not good, right?
That's not complete.
Not complete. Okay.
That's not. Yeah. That's like there's something missing here. So like you hear the story of He put Adam to sleep, and the significance of He put Adam to sleep, and where did He take out of Adam? What what bone did he take?
Rib. Right.
Which, where's the rib?
In the side.
In the side, baby. Prime rib, right? And I want to say there's a Christian comedian that has a joke about that, you know? He made us out of dust, made a woman out of prime rib.
Yeah.
So, but there's the significance of that, you know, in this is definitely a modern discussion, but he didn't take a bone out of his foot so that he could be Lord above her. He didn't take from a bone out of his head where she would be above him to the other side. There's equality in there. That they're the same. They're partnership. Like that, the beauty of that and the power of that, just the symbolism that's where he took Eve from, right? And therefore he put them together in the garden to work it together, which is really another interesting thought. And I think we also got to remember.
And I guess you could create arguments around what is the most valuable thing that was created during all this, but I guess in my head, the most valuable thing for Adam was probably Eve. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, it's companionship, it's relationship, it's it's eliminating, maybe loneliness, which I guess is theologically wouldn't exist back then before the fall, but then also, but the cool thing is, to me, is that the most valuable thing God created for Adam came out of Adam going to sleep and resting.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. It's like, he didn't tell Adam to hey, figure out a way to create this.
You got to do surgery on yourself.
Yeah. Like, you don't, work towards this thing. It was like, let me put you to sleep so I can work.
The very thing that you want, will come out of you. Stop it. Yeah. And it is an interesting, theological thing.
God,
is like,
I need to hear that too, dude.
Yeah, man. Like that Adam walked with God in the cool of the day, which, you think about the cool of the day, man. Like, I love playing 9 holes at sundown, right? The cool of the day. He was in perfect relationship with God. But God said it's not good for man to be alone. Like, there was something.
Okay, so there was something.
Right?
There's
a piece missing that he needed. And you're just like, so that was part of the original design. I don't think God made a mistake there, but I think that was part of the original design. And I think there's something going back to tension that God loves to almost like see that play out. And He's like, I know what's coming, but I want to see how this plays out in you. And then He answers his question, like you said, not as giving him a task, but putting him to sleep. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. And so so when we think of the word for Eve and what he called her helper, the word ezer, I think, is the same word used for God as a helper and defender in battle, which is interesting. We think about our wives, man. They would go to bat for us.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. It's funny. I got a whole other person coming to my wife when she wants to be protective of someone she loves and cares about. It's like,
me too.
I think that was written in the design.
Yep.
You think about a mama bear.
A mama bear,
like, dude,
that's
oh my
a real
God.
Thing.
Oh, it is a real thing. We were at the playground the other day, and some kid, he was like a year older than Hayes, walked up to my son and he wears glasses, started grabbing the glasses off his face. And my wife, I mean, I thought we were going to be on the evening news. Good God.
Yeah. Even with you, I mean, like if they get a feeling that you're being treated unfairly or they will absolutely get after it.
Yeah. Let me at them. I've heard my wife say that before.
Yep.
Then synonyms of that is like, it's not assistant. It's not a servant. It's actually more meant in the context of ally. So when you kind of hear those words, Bo, is there something that changes in your mind of like about that verse or even?
Yeah. Like, so assistance, ally. I mean, I guess really it's like, so personally for me, it's describing my wife. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's just describing, because she is those things. Like, I mean, again, so I just go back to really what was continuing to blow my mind in last week's. In part 1 was that there's just not it's still true today.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, it's not. I think through, and I don't mean this to be like a wrap up. I know we need to cover more, but like all of this is there is no difference in today and all the way back in during creation. And so to answer your question, I mean it's the same feeling I get when I think of my wife: assistance, ally. What was the other word? It was
not assistant, but ally, defender in battle.
Defender in battle. Things like that, which may be another
helper.
Point you're trying to make. I just think about
Which the word helper is similar to the same word that Jesus used calling the Holy Spirit. It's like, it's to your advantage that I leave, and I will send my advocate, which is the same, a similar word that God uses for Eve here.
Yeah,
fascinating. So that's a powerful thing. Jesus said, it's better that I go because I'm sending someone better, like, for you. So, like, when we want to diminish women, or men want to, because we're more physically dominant, we're physically bigger than them, right? That's the language that is so hard to live in the modern world. Like, we've kind of swung one way over here, and now in this modern age, we've swung the other way, when it's like, it's right in the middle, man. Like, God designed us to be equal, but also have different roles, and have different mindsets, different approaches, right? And so it's like, man, how do we wrap our heads around that? And as humans, we have done a terrible job trying to figure that out. I'm not even talking about just our modern take on it, which is really dumb in a lot of ways. But what we've done before, right? We've treated women, second class citizen, 100%. And God, that's not the way God originally designed it. It's meant to be someone to walk alongside us.
Don't
Excited you're here. If this is your first time listening, please check out mentorforge.com/theforge. Check out my young professional development program launching this fall, starting the week of August 10th. Today's episode is brought to you by Bravenly Hydrate. It's hot out there, and you got to stay hydrated, because regular water is just not going to cut it. And the main brand sports drinks got stuff you don't need to consume. So I recommend hitting the link in the bio and checking out Bravenly Hydrate. Lemon lime's my favorite flavor, but I recommend checking out more of Bravenly products. It's really great stuff for your health and well-being. So hit the link in the bio to find out more about Bravenly products.